Hey there, I am live. Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm just going to do a quick tech check to make sure everything is going as planned. How is your evening doing? I hope you guys had a smashing weekend. I hope it was relaxing. You were able to rest, rejuvenate, recharge for the week. But we're back, and we are well into Q4. So I'm really excited to come live and to tell you what I've got going on. So I'm just going to check my technology here, make sure that I can hear myself and see myself right there. So everything seems to be in order here. So I'm excited to get started. If you're seeing this on LinkedIn or if you're seeing this on YouTube, because I am streaming, holler back in the comments, send me some love, let me know that you see this, because I'm really excited to bring this content to you. So I know that we're still in the thick of things and we're preparing and getting ready for we're in the middle of Q4, right? So we're getting ready for the holiday, hoping and planning, not just hoping, but hopefully you're planning an amazing sales surge at the end of Q4. Well, this is the most profitable time of the year, right? That's what they say. And so I know, and with some planning and with some help, you guys are really going to be able to nail your sales. But why I want to come on today is to talk a little bit about what trajectory you can take your business in to make sure that you're in it to win it this oncoming year, right? So this Q1 coming up. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't have anybody here. So let me quickly introduce myself before we get started. My name is Caroline Onyedema. I am an online business and marketing coach. I am a storytelling conversion strategist and a high ticket offer architect. And I always say, arguably, I'm the baddest business coach on the block when it comes to helping people who are approaching six figures scale to a steady and sturdy multiple six figures on the way to $1 million, right? So we know that those that are millionaire minded, there's certain milestones that they must hit in their business. And hitting 100K in your business is a big milestone, but I want you to understand that six figures, meaning 100K, should be, right? So 100K, because six figures can go all the way up to $1 before $1 million, but 100K in your business should be the bare minimum, right? We don't want to create entrepreneurs that are entrepreneurially poor. We don't want to create entrepreneurs that, even though they're seeking financial freedom, may be actually better off stuck in a cubicle if they don't want to be, with a boss and business and all of that kind of stuff. We don't want to do that, right? If we're undercharging and over delivering, right? So we want to structure our business model. We want to structure our sales strategy. We want to structure our messaging so that we can win. All right, that's what we want to do. So I think I've got some bots in the YouTube. Yeah, we're not showing that junk. Let's see if I can delete. Block user. Block user. Block user. Good. Blocked. Hey, Chevy. So welcome. So yeah. So really what I'm here to do is to talk to you a little bit about the perils of burnout, understanding what the signs of burnout are, and how we're going to circumvent it so that we can live our best business lives. Now, I'm going to preface this live stream saying this. If you're the type of entrepreneur who gets squeamish when we talk about becoming ridiculously and rebelliously and rightfully rich in life, then this probably isn't the live stream for you, okay? Because we're not talking humble and just barely breaking even and just making do and just being grateful for being in business over here. Now, we've got big, hairy, audacious business goals here. And I'm the kind of coach who's going to take you next level. I'm all about scaling. I'm all about helping people do so much better than they thought they could do. I'm all about bringing the reality of business to you, but also bringing the magic of your dreams into your everyday waking reality, right? So if you're the kind of person who is a naysayer, right, who believes that, yep, that can work for other people, but it can't work for you, right? If you live vicariously through celebrity coaches with 7 and 8 figure businesses, but you don't believe that that is your birthright, that's something that you can experience. If you're the kind of person who is uncoachable, if you're a skeptic who believes all this business talk, right, is just materialistic and is unnecessary, and you believe that sales has to be sleazy all the time, and you don't believe in yourself, maybe this isn't the right live stream for you, right? Because I'm not that kind of coach, okay? And I want to say that the people that work with me usually hire me after they've experienced some harsh truths and they're ready to make serious money. So let me give you some of the harsh truths. Do you guys want to hear some of the harsh truths that they realize or they learn the hard way? You know, introspect and decide to do stuff differently than they have been doing it. So harsh truth number one, you know, they've usually done the rounds with celebrity coaches, you know, they've been sucked in and they've been starstruck, and they've gone to work with celebrity coaches that have promised them the earth, the moon, and the stars, but couldn't even deliver dirt, right? And, you know, had their sales dashboard stuck on zero, right? So it was great. They were working with these coaches in these big coaching programs, and they were so hopeful that that coach was going to be the one. But unfortunately, the investment that they move forward with hasn't worked out. And this seems to be a pattern in your business, right? You're a sucker for a good sales pitch from a coach with a nice, glamorous news feed, but unfortunately, it's not been working out for you in terms of traffic, leads, sales, credibility, authority, and you find yourself white knuckling your way through business, trying to figure out what the missing piece is and how you're going to get out of this sales plateau, how you're going to get out of being stuck in a sea of sameness, how you're going to get out of inconsistent roller coaster revenue that has you, you know, living great one month for, you know, sushi for dinner, and then the next month, you know, barely scraping by and eating ramen noodles, right? So we don't want to build those kind of businesses anymore. That's not conducive for a luxurious, laid-back lifestyle powered by a profitable, powerful business, right? Harsh truth number two, right? A lot of people come to work with me when they finally figure out, when they do the numbers in their business, that they will probably be better off, right, staying in their 9-to-5 with unlimited PTO and company perks, right, if they continue to undercharge, over deliver, and lowball their goals, right? So many people, when they come into entrepreneurship, they look at their salary that they made when they were in corporate or in a 9-to-5, or sometimes they're hybrid entrepreneurs. And so because they have another source of income, they don't structure their business in a way that makes them self-sufficient, that allows them to be profitable, that allows them rest and revenue and all those great things that a business should bring. And so they structure their pricing in a way that just, you know, sinks them into further and further debt or makes them entrepreneurially poor. They don't have any room to hire help. They don't have any margins to take a week off. And sometimes when you run those numbers, you'll see that, you know, the corporate cubicle was actually a cushy place for you. Because if you're going to undercharge and you're not going to factor in all the things that you are responsible for as an entrepreneur, and so you lowball your goals because you're not really aware of how much it takes for you to run your business, you're going to run into this hard truth, right? You're going to run into inconsistent revenue. You're going to run into times when you're hardly able to pay your bills. You're not sure if you're going to be able to make it to the next month. You're taking on clients that don't always serve you well because you just want to keep the lights on. And that is not conducive to a sustainable and long-term business that gives you financial freedom. So we don't want to be running our businesses in that fashion, okay? Hard truth number 3, people usually come to work with me when they realize that 100K in business is the bare minimum that you should be making. So a lot of coaches, they state the holy grail of business is 6 figures. But when they say that, they usually mean, I'll get you to 8 to 10K a month, right? And then you should be good there, right? And obviously that sounds amazing when you're first starting out, because it is one of the, the first business milestone, like big monumental milestone that you run into business. Because at 100K a year, excuse me, not a year, 100K a year, right? You're doing quite good, right? So you're no longer a newbie, you're gaining momentum, certain things have come into play, but it's also very possible to be an accidental 100K near, right? It's very possible to have created that revenue in your business by fluke and not framework, and then you're not able to reproduce it. Again, you've got inconsistent roller coaster revenue. And then you'll see that what that looks like 100K a year after your expenses, because I didn't say profit, I said revenue after expenses, and all the things that you need to do to run your business, paying virtual assistants, buying things you need to support you, paying yourself a salary, all the taxes that come out, paying for coaching and masterminds and courses, things that you need for professional and personal development. You're off. In fact, all the work that goes into growing your business, you're going to see that 100K a year in business is the bare minimum that you should be making. And in the long run, if you're going to put in this amount of time, dedication, effort, energy, if you're going to do all those things, it makes sense for your business to make $1 million, right? We should structure these businesses to make $1 million. Now, I'm not talking about a get rich quick scheme or, just Hail Marying your way to oodles and oodles of passive income like a lot of coaches teach, because we understand when you're seasoned in this business, there's no such thing as hands-off passive income. There's work that needs to come into play. There's effort that needs to take place before you can reap the rewards from your business. But what I am saying is that if you're in this business to win it, if you're here for the long run, if you've got true experience, expertise, if you've got knowledge that you want to share with the world, if you want to build a straightforward, ethical, authentic business, it would make sense for you to aim high at least mapping out your business to make $1 million, then lowballing it and using 100K as the base, right? I mean, who made 100K the holy grail of business, right? Usually we take an amazing salary and then we transfer that figure over to our business. But, if your boss is paying you 100K or 80K, you best believe it's probably double or triple that amount of money that is in their budget to sustain that salary, right? We only see one side of it. We only see what we get in our paycheck. We don't know what it actually takes a business owner, your corporation, your enterprise to pay you that salary. And so when you become a solo entrepreneur or a CEO in your own right, you have to understand that to have this kind of financial freedom, if you want emotional, financial, physical, financial freedom, you need to build a business that has the elasticity in it to make you $1 million, right? Especially in this day and age, or in 2022, things that cost money. And I'm all about living a great lifestyle, a luxury and lavish lifestyle, because you've really worked hard and you deserve it. And so therefore, you're not going to get that on 100K these days, right? Absolutely not. Especially when you consider that a lot of the growing industries out there like tech, the tech industry, the finance industry, especially if you've got these big players that are coming in, are giving people these hyper salaries out there, right? And so if you're using entrepreneurship as a way to gain more financial freedom, it doesn't matter if you're a hybrid entrepreneur, if you have a gift and greatness you want to share with the world, if you have a dream, even if you love your job, because when I was in corporate, I absolutely loved my job. I was a software engineer, absolutely had a ball, loved being in the industry. It was exhilarating, it was exciting, it was mind-boggling, it used to stretch me intellectually, all that good stuff, right? But I still had a dream to build my own legacy. And then, hey, I have big, hairy, audacious goals, and I'm here to help people meet theirs. Okay. And so, harsh truth number 4, right? Hustle is a recipe for never being able to switch off in your business, failing health, emotionally neglecting your friends and family, your friends, and messing up your family, right? When you are in the constant hustle mode, constant grit and grind mode, you are going to affect your health. You're never going to get to wealth. You're always going to be switched on to business. You're not going to know how to switch off. You're not going to be able to honor your family. Your children are going to suffer as a result. Your spouse is going to suffer as a result just because you don't know how to switch off. And you're still not going to make the money that you want to make in your business. All right. And so hustle is a recipe for burnout. And I know a lot of people talk about hustling and scrambling and white knuckling your way to 6 figures in your business, but that's not how we want to do it over here. Now, I'm going to say this about the hustle, the anti-hustle movement that I'm part of. See, it's all well and good telling people not to hustle and to embrace and embody ease in their business, but to make sure that that's actually true, you have to intentionally and intentionally break up with hustle, because hustle has a death grip on an entrepreneur. And what alternative do you have when you don't have a master plan and you have bills to pay, the rent is due, right? And your bank alternative do you have to have hustle to keep things afloat? And so if you don't want that to happen, it's no good just to say, well, I'm done with hustle, I don't hustle anymore, because that's not true, because we're all, we're all very resourceful, and when our back's against the wall, either we're going to fight or flight. And most entrepreneurs that I deal with are ambitious and driven and resilient, and so they fight back, and that usually means going into hustle mode, right? Trying to drum up sales, trying to find leads, okay? Trying to find an opportunity, because they don't want to be the one who quits. They don't want to be the one who falls back. So yes, hustle is, par for course if you have not structured your business in a way that allows you to embody ease, that is mapped out, that is well thought out, that embraces balance as a business strategy. Do you understand? And that's where I help people, because I understand the hustle. There was a time when I was always hustling in my business, but I had to intentionally make a plan to break up with hustle, even if it was incrementally done, so that I could embrace and live out a business that brought me peace, power, and profits. All right. And I'm sure that's what you want. Hustle hurts. Let me tell you that right now. Okay. And we want to banish that from our business, but it doesn't happen overnight. It happens one day at a time. It happens one strategy at a time. It happens one implementation switch at a time. And that's why I'm here to help you. The harsh truth number 5 that people experience before they come to work with me typically is that they've struggled and stumbled to 100K. So usually the people that have come to work with me have experienced 100K in their business, whether it's in a year, whether they had a great launch and they got it in a launch in 6 weeks, in 90 days. They've experienced 100K in their business. They've experienced the sweetness of 100K, all right? But then they're plateaued. Then they're stuck. They're not able to get to the next level, right? And so, it feels more like a fluke rather than a framework. They start to feel like they haven't got it anymore, that, this business isn't sustainable. And this is a horrible way to feel, because it starts to eat away at your confidence. It starts to make you feel inferior to other people that seem to be just, scaling and doing better every month. They've always got, amazing revenue months. And you start to look at yourself like, what's wrong with me? Because I've done the work, right? I've hired the coaches. I've listened to the master classes. I've put in the time. I've put in the effort. I've put in the sacrifice. And yet I'm still stuck, right? Maybe making these 10K months or scrambling around for clients. And yes, you may have hustled your way to the 100K, but what got you to 100K? You understand it cannot take you to mid 6 or 7 figures, right? And I always say to people that are millionaire minded, right? Meaning you haven't made a million, but you understand that you are a millionaire in the making, because you've decided that 100K just won't do. 100K is the bare minimum in your business, right? But you also understand that on the way to $1 million, on the journey to $1 million, there's different milestones. And one major milestone I help people to get to is the mid six-figure milestone. But before that milestone, I help you chill with $250,000, right? So you hit the 250K milestone and you look, you take stock of what you've done at that milestone, and then you regroup, right? You refactor and you go again to the next milestone. So the next milestone will be a mid six figures, right? So that's when you start to come to the 400, 500K a year. Now, it doesn't matter, right, how the increment, the time frame it takes you to get there, right? It doesn't matter as long as it's sustainable, it's realistic, it's systemized, and you're not scrambling to do it, right? You want it to be by framework and not by fluke. So it's usually those 5 harsh truths that people have encountered or experienced before they realize they need to come and work with somebody like me who gives high touch, intensive support systems and strategy in a very close setting, right? Lots of people go to big group coaching programs and they get lost in it, they get overwhelmed, and that's to be expected because in those coaching programs, no one's going to come, those coaches, those celebrity coaches are not going to come down from their pedestal to deep dive personally into your business. And that's because they're scaling, right? So they've paid their dues and they don't want that high touch environment, and they create these group coaching programs with lots of coaches who stand celebrity coach that wow, been sucked you in and got that experience. And when you get to this 100K a year mark in your business, or even if you're not at that yet, but you feel yourself growing and growing and growing and growing, but then all of a sudden you've got stuck somewhere. So you've been incrementally growing over a period of time, and all of a sudden you're stuck and it's not working anymore, right? Very frustrating place to be. If you find yourself at that stage, you really need someone who's able to deep dive into the nuances of your business. It's not at that point, you're not a newbie and you don't need a cookie cutter solution that they give to beginners, right? You need someone to really audit where you are, to pinpoint the hidden secrets or the missing piece or the bottlenecks that's stopping you. And often when you remove one bottleneck, you get a major breakthrough in your business, right? Because you've already proven by coming this far that you've got the mindset, the resilience, the drive, the ambition to make it further, right? Now, I want you to be aware of something, right? There's a lot of charlatans and cutthroat people in this industry, and fake clients and fake coaches, right, or fake gurus. They watch your revenue, right? But real clients, real coaches, and real people watch your results. Okay, it's the results that you're able to help people get, not how much money you're able to back. Right? It's the results that they should be looking at to understand if you can help them. And I want you to understand that happily I have the receipts for both, right? Revenue and results. And I'm here to help the real ones. I'm here to help the real ones in business who are not looking for a get rich quick scheme, but really want realistic strategy and scaling techniques, marketing techniques, right? To move them to the next level, right? So again, my name is Caroline Onyedema. I'm a marketing and business coach. I focus and specialize on story-based marketing, irresistible offers, and non-sleazy, high-ticket sales strategy to help you get to the next level in your business so you can live a laid-back and luxurious lifestyle. And so I sat down and started mapping out one of these things for my client, one of these business models for my client. And I thought it would be really helpful if I would come on live today and show you, give her a sneak peek into how I help people break up with hustle and embrace ease intentionally and predictably, right, in their business through what I call the balanced and bankable business model, right? Now, one of the major myths or limited beliefs in this online business industry, and I know that I'm gonna, annoy a lot of people here, and unpopular opinion, because there's a status quo out there, right, that believes this. But, you know, there's things that people say, right? In theory, that makes sense, right? So there's a lot of things that people say that logically make sense, but in practice, right, is absolute codswallop. Doesn't work, right? And you only know that if you're deep in the trenches working with people, because we're not robots. We have limited resources, limited attention, limited energy, and we can only do what we do. So one of the big myths of this online business industry is that one signature offer is enough for you to make $1 million, right? Well, I'm saying it's been done, right? So a few people have done it, but for the majority of people out there, you're going to find that an ecosystem of offers is what is going to get you to $1 million faster than focusing on one signature offer that drives you to burnout to sell it, right? Because forget about all the people flossing and flexing in this online business. Not everybody is getting a $15,000 to $20,000 sale every day, all right? And what's required to fill these signature offers is continuous launching that will drive you to burnout before you get breakthrough, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur that has limited time, limited resources, you have a family. And I hate to see people stuck on the launch roller coaster because they have put all their eggs in one business or marketing strategy bucket. And the only thing that they know to do is to launch every 8 weeks, or fill these signature coaching programs, which they never typically fill at capacity. So they're always looking for more traffic. You see them always on a traffic smash and grab, right? Always looking for the next strategy, the next webinar, the next group coaching program to help fill these big monolith coaching programs, right? That are not terribly difficult to fill, but there's a lot of people doing the same thing. And so people are spoiled for choice, right? And so you'll find that even though it's possible, yeah, you might get a slam dunk launch, you might have a Hail Mary month. It's not always consistable. It's not always sustainable unless, right, especially when you're not even at the 100K a year mark, especially when you need to hire staff, you need to hire a team, you need to hire extra support, and you can't finance it because you're not even paying yourself payroll before you get to those marketing costs, right? But you've been told that you can't deviate left, you can't deviate right, and the only way to get to $1 million or to grow this $1 million business or even to get to multiple six figures is to only have one signature offer, and that's the only thing you're allowed to sell. And if you sell anything else, you're going to confuse your market. They're going to be discombobulated if you try and sell anything else, and it's going to, or you don't have the focus to do it. See, here's the thing. I beg to differ because I've seen different in actuality, in everyday practice, and it hasn't worked for a lot of people. So I'm the kind of person that always, I believe rules are there to be bent. If it's not working, don't make it work for you, because we know everything works in business, right? So here's the thing, everything works in business, but not everything works for you. And your job, right, if you want to lead a powerful and profitable type of business, is not to look and see what everybody else is doing, but to figure out what works best for you and to run with it. Hyper focus is your superpower, right? But you can focus on a product suite, an offer suite that's all interrelated, right? That serves people at different stages in their customer journey. Or you can concentrate on building an ecosystem that serves you in the way that you want to run your business, with these offers still under the umbrella of whatever your niche is or the people that you want to help, right? So what I see is a lot of people leaving money on the table because they have only one signature offer that's in a particular container that's only sold at a certain time of year, right? And they have all this traffic coming in because they're creating content, they're live streaming, they're showing up, but they have to turn away 90% of people because they've been told that they can only sell this in a particular way at a particular time to a particular person, right? So they leave all this money on the table, and intuitively, they know they could do more, they could pivot, or they could tweak their strategy, but they're straight, you know, they're straight jacketed into these ideas because the gurus told them. Now, here's the thing. When you look and see what the gurus have done in the past to become gurus, right? They didn't even follow that advice for themselves. They didn't follow that strategy for themselves, right? When I look at all the big guys out there, right, this 8-figure bro marketers, right, the people that do amazingly well, the people that we buy all their products, I'm sure every one of you can go into your back office or into your Google Drive or to look in your logins, and you've probably got a course from someone called Frank Kern, right? You've probably got a course from somebody like Amy Porterfield, all these different people. They have had many different offers over time that's allowed them to get to the 8-figure milestone in their business, or the 7-figure milestone in their business, right? There's been ebbs and flows in their businesses. They've taken advantage of opportunities, and they have figured out what works for them. Now, as they're amassing traffic and they're getting credibility and authority and all those kind of things, they kind of mellow into the business that they have now. But often these people teach, right, from their high towers, right, or their high horses. They teach, okay, a business structure or a business strategy for what's working now at that level they're at, but they're teaching people at chapter 2 their chapter 10 strategy. And it doesn't always work out because they can't remember what it was like to start out or to be at that scaling phase, or they have the curse of knowledge, right? Or they're telling you what's working for them on their level, but that's not what's going on in the trenches. And that's why it's really important yourself and you are realistic to what works for you now. All right. There's no point in leaving all this money on the table because you've been told only one way works and everyone has to toe that party line, because that's not true. Right. And so that's why I want to get into the balanced business model, because remember, there's certain things that I believe. So here's my belief system. I believe that you can have $1 million business with a balanced and bankable business model. And today I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you guys are with me, I want you to put in Bankable in the chat. If you're here, if you're seeing this on LinkedIn, I want you to put Bankable in the comments. If you're here on, if you're with me on YouTube, I want you to put Bankable in the comments, because are you ready for me to reveal what the bankable or the balanced and bankable business model, right? So balance because it's embracing ease and it's giving hustle a notice to quit. But the thing about hustle, it doesn't just relinquish its powers over you like that. It has to be, you're right, there has to be intention, right? There has to be strategy, there has to be focus on making it leave, all right? And so this is what the bankable business model is, right? Let me know if you can see this short but sweet, very fundamental, very crude little table here. But absolutely, guys, listen, the things that you draw on the back of a napkin or a bit of scrap paper are the best strategies, right? Because, you know, scaling is in your simplicity, the best strategies. And so I sat down and I decided, right, this is based on what a client asked for and also what I decided for myself in my own business, based on my lifestyle, based on my family, based on my mistakes I've made in the past, based on where I am in my business, and based on what I know is required for me to totally break up with hustle in my business. And remember, right, there's times where I go into hustle or in frantic mode because I got to do what I got to do to keep my business going. And there's times when I'm able to chill and relax. I mean, I just came back from a 3-week vacation in London and I decided to switch off, turn off and just have an amazing time. But there's times when we have to, you know, we have to go through the highs and the lows of growing our business, and we're going to do what we're going to do, right? So I decided if I was proactive, if I was intentional, if I was structured, could I really have a more balanced and bankable business in 2023 when I compare it to my trajectory this year, right? And could I make sure or guarantee that would also work for my clients that came to me, so that I could disavow this. Oh, only one signature offer, when my clients are telling me about their problems, telling me about their struggles, and I'm just sticking to this dogma because the 7-figure guru said it had to be so, and I didn't want to be the only dissenting coach out there. So I decided not to, I decided when everyone was zigging to zag, right? Because I know that this works. I know that this works. So let's talk about what that looks like and what this idea of a product suite is, right? So most people will tell you to go all in on your signature. I don't know if you guys can see it, right? So I've made it a little bit bigger. Let me know if you can see it. But what I decided is that having a signature offer is cool, all right? Having a scalable signature offer. So, a signature offer, I call your signature offer, in my business, I call it your magnum opus offer. It's your timeless, okay? It's your timeless offer. Great. I'm glad you guys can see it. It's a timeless offer that you pour your heart and soul into creating and structuring and designing and delivering. It's not just some idea you came up with. It's really well thought out. It's based on your expertise, your experience, right? Your know-how in the market. That's why I love to work with experts that have true expertise, right? And you pour your heart and soul into that, and you come up with a magnum opus offer. Almost like when I went to London, I went to St. Paul's Cathedral that has been there since 1670. When I looked up at this amazing, at the ceiling, right? The dome on this amazing cathedral that's been there for over 400 years. Let me tell you something. Everybody remembers the person that that architected St. Paul's Cathedral, Sir Christopher Wren. Up to now, right, we know who he is. He's revered, he's respected, his name has gone down in history. He's built like half of DOD London, right? And his structures still stand today. That is a magnum opus offer. That's a magnum opus piece of art, right? It's something that stands the test of time. It's classic. And that's what I call a signature offer. I know so many people have signature offers, and when I look at it, when I actually buy it, it's a piece of crap, right? That's not a magnum opus offer. A lot of marketers are better at marketing than they make. But a magnum opus offer will have people coming back again and again and again, just like you have sightseers that come from all over the world to look up at the dome at St. Paul's Cathedral, right? That's where Lady Di got married. I think that's where Meghan Markle got married, to walk the aisle, to look at the majesty and awe and the ornate artwork and the stone and all of that beautiful stuff. And you say to yourself, wow, people don't make things like this anymore. The craftsmanship, the time, the effort, the creativity, right? That's what I call a signature offer. And guys, let me tell you something. You just can't create a signature offer, right, that has that magnum opus quality, right, in a few days, or by just jumping on Zoom and, recording a masterclass and then packaging that into something like Kajabi or Teachable or whatever it is that you use as your course management system, and then selling that for a few $1,000s. That is not a signature offer. That's not a magnum opus offer. That's a money grab. And we don't want to do that anymore, because what happens if you're a serious coach, if you're somebody who's serious about their craft, if you're a consultant who's worth their weight in credibility and authority, you don't want to put out those kind of offers, right? You might get money from somebody once, but you're never going to get a sale again. And it's gonna damage your credibility out here. And there's a lot of cutthroats and charlatans, and you never want to be labeled as one of those scammers. So you need to take your time. You need to make it great. You need to put some pride in it, okay? And that's why a signature offer to me is a magnum opus offer. But I've decided, right, and I thought over this for a long time, because there's lots of areas that I can focus on in helping people to scroll their business to multiple six figures. But for me, it had to be something that I was passionate about, had to be something that I excelled at. It had to be something that came easy peasy lemon squeezy to me. Otherwise, I knew I'd abandon it. I'd get bored and I'd leave. And that's what happens to a lot of people when they create signature offers. They launch it once, they get tired of it, they get bored of it, they leave it in a semi-created state, barely good enough to sell, and then they go off and do something else. And we don't want to do that. See, that's what people are talking about when they're saying that you should focus, right? Because obviously there's balance on a spectrum of having one signature offer to having absolutely no focus, no direction in your business. You don't want to be on that other side of the spectrum either. So I decided that for 40%, so when you look at this table here, the whole table is your $1 million business model, right? Right? That's balanced and bankable. So I decided, right, that as it's a non-negotiable, it's mandatory that my business must make $1 million in a year. It doesn't matter if it's this year, next year, the year after, but my business is going to be structured to make $1 million. No longer is six figures or a couple of six figures, like multiple six figures, good enough. If I'm going to put all this effort, if I'm going to, study so much, if I'm going to invest in myself the way that I've had, then $1 million is mandatory, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to come tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to come next week, right? But I have a time frame that I've given myself and my other friends, right? I've told them on my, I'm not going to tell you exactly when, but very soon, within the next 2 years, right? On a certain day, I told my friends, we all need to be in Dubai and we need to be celebrating, all right, $1 million in business, right? And they were all like, bet, and we all dabbed each other and we said, okay, it's going to happen, because once we say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And those are the kind of people I work with. So I know I had to go and put the master plan in action. So I've decided for the kind of business that I want to run, right? 40% of my business is a portion to my signature offer. You know why? Because it takes a lot of effort to launch, to fill, right? To sustain a signature offer. And I think 40 people a year going through my programs at that level where I have to pour my heart, body, and soul into a scalable signature, because even though it's a group coaching program, I still am on the hook for, giving people the energy and creating a community they feel seen and they can get maximum results. Because here's the thing, if you're a coach or a consultant and you're taking high ticket money and you're working with people in these high impact containers, there's a lot of expectations from you. And so instead of spending all your time marketing, you actually need time to refine your signature offer, because you're going to get feedback as people come in and they're going through your program, and the responsibility is on you to carve out enough time to pour back into the program and make it better. Building a signature offer is not a one and done thing. It's an iterative approach if you take pride in your work, right? The Sistine Chapel was built in St. Paul's Cathedral, 1670, but they've continually been adding things to it and refining things and adding structures and monuments and all these beautiful things over time, right? And so I know that I need time to make this product amazing, this program amazing, so that people from far and wide will be talking about it. And it stops me having to market so hard, because people are chomping at the bit to get in. And you'll find that when you concentrate on your product like that, your marketing effort and budget goes down, because word of mouth gets out and people just know that your program is amazing, and they'll be knocking on your door, waiting for the next enrollment period, asking how they can join, because everybody responds to receipts. Okay, is anybody with me? So is anybody trying to build a business like that? So I've said 40%. You can see I go model, 40% goes to a signature offer. That's 400K in a year, right? If the price point was 10K, it's 40 people, that's 400K in a year, right? And the sales event for that, I've decided, is to launch twice a year. One in January, one in July, right? And I'm done, okay? Now, here's the thing about numbers. Once the number is set, your job is to do what it takes to meet the number, period, right? Now, don't tell me it can't be done, because when we were in corporate and we used to get our sales goals and whatever, right? You guys are used to meeting these goals, right? Every business, every organization has goals and has structure and tells you what needs to be done to meet them. So it's a matter of you going out to get the numbers, right? to get 40 sales, right? You know, we're not going to reverse engineer it here because this is what we do in my coaching program, but you know the amount of people that you need to get into your launches, you know the amount of traffic that you have to attract, you know the visibility that you need, you know the consistency that you need. So you can reverse engineer your numbers to put you at the door of the effort that you need to make those numbers happen. All right. And it doesn't mean these numbers will happen overnight. Okay. These numbers, you work into these numbers, right? You grow your business into these numbers, but the numbers are the numbers to make $1 million. And most people don't build their business like this. They come up with arbitrary numbers and arbitrary metrics, and they're way off when it comes to counting their coins. So you don't want to do that, right? But I've also made this decision for my business because of the lifestyle that I want to lead and the experience I've had, right, from coaching for 7 years and helping people grow their businesses with done for you service and all the different things that I've done. I've decided that I only want to really focus on those people who've got to a certain level in their business. But there's all these people who love my content, who contact me, who are still in that newbie stage, right? They're still trying to figure out what they're doing. They're struggling with their mindset. They haven't made a certain amount, right? They're struggling with their offers and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I love helping those people, but I've decided my focus with my signature offer can't be variable all over, right? I've got to hone in on one segment of the market and help them really well. So what happens with all that money I'm leaving on the table with all those people that I can't help? Well, I've decided the best way to help them is to have a digital product suite of DIY products that can definitely help them. But here's the difference in how this is done, right? We're going to do evergreen in between, or as I say, we're going to use evergreen sales to drive mid-ticket offers, right? And what makes something evergreen? See, a lot of people have but they're still burnt out because in the sales process, they have to jump in, right? They have to intervene in a sales process to create, to take a sales call or to do a webinar or, to help bring their energy to the sales process because they're stuck on selling high ticket. But when you're selling mid-ticket offers, right, you can sell them 100% evergreen without having to bring your physical presence to the sales process because they're mid-ticket. But it does require you to bring your energy to the front of the customer journey where you build a personal brand and connection and all that great stuff with people, where you're creating content, when you're live streaming like this, where you're showing up viable and visible for your audience, so they know that you're a real person. But when it comes down to sales, you automate the sales all the way through. Right? And I've decided that I can't help everyone, but there's so many people who reach out to me and say, do you have a product for this? Or do you have templates for this? Or do you have structure for this? And the only way I could help them was say, come into my one-on-one coaching, or come into a workshop that's going to be done in 2 weeks, or, join one of my boot camps. And I decided that if I went evergreen, right, with a lot of products or products that were very specific in scope, right? So one of the big mistakes people make when they try and create digital products, they create these big monolithic digital products that go across a big broad scope, right? And people aren't looking for those. They're looking, when it comes to digital products, the ones that fly off the shelf, and I know because I've been in the Kajabi industry for a long time, helped course creators, digital content creators and product creators, all that good stuff for a long time. I still do that in my business, right? The problem they have is that they try and teach too much and do too much. But you'll find that when somebody is product aware and they know exactly what the problem is in their business, right? Because all these celebrity coaches, you can let them teach and give them the foundations. Once they become product aware, meaning, and solution aware and product aware, meaning they understand exactly what they need, right? They start to search on those terms or on that vocabulary because they're looking for something specific. So let me give you an example. If I'm going to give you a real life example, right? So there's a woman who has a program around Notion, okay? And Notion is an amazing, powerful tool that a lot of people use for organizational structure, documenting their business. You can use it as a database, all this great stuff, templates, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a powerful tool if you know how to use it well. And so she created like a mid-ticket movement offer. And why I say it's a movement, because it piggybacks on an existing tribe that's already loyal to a particular product, right? Well, instead of her trying to create a whole kind of productivity and project management course, right, which is vast and wide, she zoned in on this specific product and taught people how to use it well, and sold it at a price point that it didn't break the bank, right? But she sold it as an evergreen DIY product that you can dive into yourself, and it was always available, all right? And from that, she made about $500,000, okay? And that's how you do evergreen. You do it specific, you do it so that it adheres to a particular scope. You make it mid-ticket so that people don't have to get on a sales call to buy it from you, and you make it always available. Now, the way that it's done and the way that I structure people's offers, if you guys are still with me, who wants some evergreen in your business? Because evergreen means rest, okay? Evergreen means if I don't sell my signature today, I'm still good. Evergreen means I can go on vacation and still enjoy the sound of Stripe notifications popping off on my phone, right? I can go on date nights and, you know, swipe my American Express with abandon because I know I've had a couple of evergreen sales today. And I don't have to show up and coach or deliver this product because I've poured my expertise and experience into it, and the product speaks for itself. Who wants some of that in their business, right? If you're with me, type in evergreen, right? Because that is an important part of your bankable and balanced and bankable business model, right? So what an evergreen product should do, which is a mid-ticket offer, right? So I'm not talking about these low $37 tripwires. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a mid-ticket offer, because you still have to guard your positioning. You're not out there giving away your expertise for peanuts. Mid-ticket, because the evergreen supplements your signature, also allows people to send into your signature without, all right? Because once somebody's taken your evergreen program, or, you know, consumed your evergreen course, and you've wowed them, right? And it was very tailored to solve a particular problem, and it was based on this tribe or this ecosystem or this collective, right, that you have piggybacked on, right? That's why I'm creating my Burnout to Balance course. I love it, right? And I have a particular formula for creating evergreen that, you know, kind of like next to guarantees that your products will fly off the shelf. Because there's evergreen done badly, that you're just stuck with digital products collecting this dust, and there's evergreen done really well, where people search for your products. Let me tell you something. I have a client, or he's an ex-client now, but he was a client and he's still a very good friend, that has made $3 million, okay, from an evergreen product, and he doesn't have to market. He hardly markets, right? He's traveling around the world with his wife. He's enjoying life. He doesn't have this big coaching signature program, because he has this evergreen product that people are searching for, right? They know the name, the keywords around this product. So they're searching for it, and they find his product, and it's just the right price for them to just buy without even thinking twice about it. It's like, well, if it doesn't work out, I didn't break the bank, but it's not dirt cheap, so that I don't believe it doesn't work. All right. So the second line there, for me, I've decided that 50% of my sales, right? 50% of my sales, right? I think my math is off here, right? So I'm going to change it a little bit. But 50% of my, 30% of my sales. I just didn't change the 50 though. It's 30%. Where it says evergreen and you're under percentage. 30% of my sales, guys, I've decided I want it to be evergreen, right? Not that I'm hanging up my coaching boxing gloves, but I've decided that it's conducive to the way I want to live my life. I want to be more present for my children. I want to travel more. I want to just have a week off here and there, because listen, forget about what all those people say that you can have a totally passive income business and just do nothing. There's always work to do, right? There's always content to create. There's always things to learn if you're passionate about what you're doing, right? So I've decided I want just time off to be able to be creative, to be able to explore new things, all the things that avoid me from hitting burnout, to do fun things with my children, to teach them different things, to explore, but I still want to be financially able to do that. And I don't want to be stressing about my next launch, or if my signature, my 5-day challenge is going to do well. What happens if no one shows up for this webinar? Because this evergreen is supporting my signature offer, right? If I don't make sales today on signature, I make sales every day on evergreen, right? Because if I got a 1 sale every day, okay, if I got 1 sale every day, give and take a few missed days in a year, right, and it was $1,000 sale, okay, then I'd hit my goal, right? Does that make sense to you? So one of the big things you have to look out for when you're creating evergreen products is not to be too greedy and try and jack up the price, right? And then you price yourself out of people buying from you when they, without having to jump on a sales call. So you're going to get people booking and they just want to buy something for $500. You don't want that to happen, because then your energy is required to come to the sales process and then you're going to burn out, right? Okay, good. So now the next line for me is I've decided that I want to productize service in my business, because in this online business space, there's loads of people that want to give, you know, barge pole strategy, right? So they just want to tell you what to do, right, from 100 feet back, right, without really helping you with the implementation. And people are getting sick of strategy, right? Talk is cheap. We need action. And so I've decided to help fix that problem. Okay, so how are we going to fix that problem, right? Well, to offer productized service. And what is a productized service? It's a very streamlined and structured service. It's not customized, but it basically conveyor belts people through implementation to give them a big win, right? So you're going to be able to help people do something they haven't done in 2 years, right, in a few weeks. So let me give an example. I help people create quiz funnels that build their email list and then traffic warden different people that come into their business to different offers at the right time, at the right place. It segments your audience, segments your email list, so that you can align offers according to people's preferences and answers. Now, I've taught quiz strategy. I've done boot camps, done with you boot camps. I've even got a course called List Building with Quizzes. But what I've found is that people don't really want to learn quiz strategy. They just want the leads and sales, right? So while I geek out on that stuff, I'm a certified Interact quiz partner, right? I've taught hundreds, well, you know, over hundreds, right? So at least 1,000 people in the Interact space, right? Their customers, how to use quizzes. I've hosted a perfect quiz challenge with Interact. But I've still found that when it comes to building quizzes, lead generation quizzes that drive sales, right, that people get stuck. They're not able to contend with the tech. They get caught up in quiz strategy, what questions to ask. They get overwhelmed with the process. They don't know what call to action or what offers they should go to. All of this stuff that I can easily take care for them and deliver them back a quiz funnel that drives sign up, subscribers, and sales, right? Without them having to worry about the nitty gritty of how it works. I can take some basic information from them, understand their messaging, understand what offers they have, and then deliver them back a quiz funnel in 2 to 3 weeks based on their cooperation, right? And so that's the productized service that I have, okay? And when you consider that a well-implemented quiz funnel can bring you, like, people opting in, even if for every 300 people that opts in to your quiz every month, and I teach the different traffic points that you can put where you can place your quizzes. They're amazing for putting in groups, right? Because it doesn't feel like you're marketing at all in groups when somebody asks a question. So let me give you an example. I'm in a lot of the Black Girl luxury groups, and somebody asked a question, right? What can I do to be more feminine, right? So they're talking about femininity and luxury and lifestyle and class and decorum, all that stuff. And I have a client that does a lot of skincare products. And, you know, for her, skincare is luxury. It's very feminine. So I saw that question in a group and I said, why don't you create a quiz answering that very question? And so she created an amazing quiz. What's your focus on femininity, right? And she's able to drop that quiz into the groups, because that question is asked about 20 times a day. as an authentic answer or solution to somebody's question. And so she is able to, will be able to collect leads on the fly, right? From these groups that have got like 50, 40,000 people in the groups. And at the end of the quiz, especially the way it's strategized and structured, she's able to introduce what femininity means to her or to the client or to the lead based on what they answered, and how skincare is a great way to tap into your femininity. Having flawless, fresh, and youthful looking skin, right, is a great way to feel feminine, to feel, you know, beautiful, to feel confident. And then she's able to introduce her skincare product or her skincare routines or education on how that works, right? So that's just one example of how a quiz can ask questions that allow people to understand more about themselves and drive them to the right offer or content in your business that's going to set you up like a rock star and drive revenue round the clock, right? So it's a very sought after productized service, and it doesn't require someone to do it themselves. They hand the whole thing over to me. They give me 10K, and the 10K is in payment installments, right? And they get a lead generation quiz that drives sign-ups, sales, and reoccurring revenue, right? And also nurtures their list, because I don't just give them a quiz, I give them the email sequence, I give them the landing pages, I give them the follow-up sequence, we structure their offers. It's a whole automated sales system based on the back of a powerful lead gen quiz. Productized service, guys. I know there's courses out there where people are like paying 2 or 3K just to go through the course, and they still haven't produced that quiz in years and years and years and years, right? Leaving revenue and relationships on the table, period. So I've decided, you know what? Okay, if I dedicated 20% of my bankable business model, right, to a productized service, remember, I'm not doing full service. I'm not trying to do all of this stuff. A productized service around my quiz creation and lead generation service, right? And it's an amazing way to feed people into challenges, webinar launches, all of that good stuff off the back of a quiz. It's very valuable. People can see the value of having this thing set up, and they don't have to do it themselves. That's how I'm going to do it, right? And so 200K for the year out of that, 10K quiz funnel that includes the strategy, the quiz writing, the integration, all of that good stuff, right? Lazy man lift no finger offer for people, or lazy woman lift no finger offer. Basically, you come to me, I tell you what you need, you give me a few things back, I got you, you go away, and I deliver you back a quiz. It's a win-win situation for everybody, right? A quiz funnel, not just a quiz funnel that takes a stranger to a subscriber to a sale, all right? And then the last thing I have is one-on-one. And the reason why one-on-one is only 10% here is your girl needs a break, right? A lot of done for you and one-on-one coaching, right, will lead you to burn out in this business before you hit your $1 million breakthrough, right? So why even try? And we've seen people do this, right? And I see it all the time, and I'm like, another one bites the dust, right? It is not sustainable. You are not a robot. You have a life. You deserve a break. Your children deserve to have you fully engaged and have fun with you and do all those amazing things. Date night needs to be great again. You need to feel sexy and emotionally available for your partner, all of that good stuff. And you can't do it if you're always, right, got your mind on your money and your money on your clients, right? On your one-on-one clients. So you need a break. And that's why I flipped the script. Before, I used to be heavily on the one-on-one. And I've decided next year, just 10% of my revenue needs to come from one-on-one coaching, right? Not to say that I have to obliterate it, because I like doing it. It keeps me on the cusp. It keeps me relatable, keeps me understanding the nuances of this industry, right? But it doesn't have to be the lion's share of my money, right? Based on, you know, how I want to live my life, how things have changed for me, and how I want to be available and fully present for my family. So just 10%, right, which is 100K, with offers between 5 and 10K for my 90-day coaching package, or my one-day VIP intensives, which usually run at 5K, right? Okay, and up to Voxer coaching also comes in one-on-one. So for Voxer mentoring, so for a lot of my clients, well, not I don't say a lot, but a section of my clients, they don't do really well with getting on Zoom once a week and then being told, you know, coach, spoken to for 45 minutes, given a task and told to go off and do it. What really moves the needle in their business is the day-to-day play, right? It's almost like having a coach, NFL coach in your ear, giving you the minute by minute play. And so what we do that on Voxer coaching or Facebook Messenger coaching, where I give them the play for the day and they go and execute a money move. And that's actually what moves the needle in their business, rather than coming to a coaching session once a week and then going away and not doing your homework, right? And so I tell people, be honest with what works. And this really works well for people who've got to a certain level in their business and, you know, they need accountability. Sometimes they don't know what they should be doing with their day. They piddle away the whole day and they're not being strategic to create offers every day, to say the right thing with their messaging, all right, to execute money moves, creating partnerships, all of these things that actually move the needle in your business, rather than going and sitting in someone's mastermind or conference and taking selfies with people who will forget about you 2 days after the conference, right? So there's certain things that you should be doing. That's all busy work that people do, but it's not productive. And I ask my clients every day, what did you do today, right? That's why it says move to the bank on this thing, right? Because I always tell people, if you want to have a cash cow in your business, you've got to learn to make like a cow. What does a cow do? A cow moves. What does move stand for? Make offers often. You know, your business rises and falls on your message and the offers that you make, right? And if you are experiencing a revenue drought in your business, it's because you're not making offers to the right people at the right time. And whenever that happens to my clients, I just say to them, did you make an offer today? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, I didn't know how to. I didn't know when I should make an offer. I didn't know what to say. And then in Voxer coaching, I just give them their money move. Or did you follow up with this client? Or did you create a partnership here? Or did you connect with anyone? Did you create some actionable or valuable content? Did you do anything that's really going to move the needle in your business? Or did you piddle it away just clapping back in Facebook groups, right? Or responding to people's shit talking memes that really make them rich but make you absolutely nothing, right? So we have to get really raw and honest about what we're doing in our business. Totally get. And so we have brain fog. We don't know what we should be doing every day. And so for me, I just tell them to come on my 30-day Voxer coach and I got you. And they're going to make money, right? You don't need to sit in somebody's coaching mastermind, right? Pretending to pay attention while 20 other people are asking basic questions, and that shows that they didn't even watch the content. You need to have someone in your ear that says, do this, execute that. Have you done this? I want it done in 2 hours. Post me the link back when you've done it. Who checks on you. And that's what you do in Voxer coaching. You don't need to be babysat. You just need somebody to drag you by your edges when you go off a little bit. Okay? Right? So that's what we're doing. That's one-on-one. You can totally set it up how you want. So let me quickly get to the sales event, because this is it. So you can see the sales, you can see the price, and these prices change. What I'm saying to you though, right, is when you structure your pricing and the sales, meaning how many units are going to be sold at this price, which will lead back to the revenue, right? Remember, you already have revenue buckets set when you do this balanced and bankable business model for yourself. That don't worry, okay, about how you're going to make the numbers. Just know that these numbers have to be made. That's what you do in coaching. That's what you do when you have someone who holds you accountable. That's what you do when you come up with your money plays. But what you have to know, that these are revenue buckets that you have to plug in, and the plan is the plan, right? You might not hit it the first year, you might not hit it, but what happens is as you become more intentional, you'll know what you're working for and what you're working towards. So you'll know why you can't afford to be lollygagging or unproductive, or, see what I mean, pissing your time away, right? When you know that there's these revenue goals. Have you connected with a certain amount of people? Have you created partnerships? Have you nurtured these conversations? Have you followed up with these people? Have you created, are you spending time with product creation? All these things, right? So that you can mature into this business. Now, when it comes down to how you're going to sell these things, I usually put the sales mechanism in the last column, right? So for a signature program where I need to get 40 people over the year, I can do a semi-yearly launch, right? Maybe one in January, one in July, and be done, right? But it also tells me that I might not want to sell that in cohorts where it's a shut and close launch and people can't come in. I just use those two time points to get a surge of sales in, but I still can sell through the year by just creating great messaging and getting somebody on a sales call, right? Really straightforward. It's not undoable, right? It's totally doable to get 20 people in 2 launches, right? I'm not to say, most people are going, hey, I want to get hundreds in. I'm saying 20 people per launch, guys, right? Life can be simple. Structure your business in a way that makes sense, right? And that doesn't give you these goals that are unattainable. I know we want smart goals and big, hairy, audacious goals, but you also have to understand what your weaknesses and your strengths are. And you work to your strengths. You don't work against your weaknesses, right? So it's not undoable for a 90-day program to sell it at 10K. That's market rate if you've got an amazing transformational outcome that you're bringing people. 10K, I mean, I'm even lowballing it there, right? 15K, 20K for some of these group coaching programs, right? But 10K, right, for a solid offer with solid outcomes that wreak value, okay? Totally doable, structured signature offer program that's a magnum opus that people say, man, this person put some instructional design in it. It's got well thought out exercises. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what the goal is. I know what my milestones are. I can track my results. I can track how far I've come in this program. Amazing. All right. Semi-yearly launch with some sales calls in between if people want to come in between the launches. And it's not a cohort, it's evergreen rolling, but it does require you, because it's a 10K, to bring your energy to the sales process at one point. So you can automate the sales up to one point, right? So you can get people to sign up to your 5-day challenge, or to come into your 3-day live launch, or to get on a webinar, right? All automated. But there comes a point when you hit a certain price point where you are going to have to interrupt the sales process, the automation, to bring your energy and your connection and your empathy to the sales process to sign someone on a 10K offer. Or you're going to have to get a sales team to do it, which is another problem. And remember, with this, keep most of the profit, right? Okay, so that's why I'm not trying to make sell like crazy where you need a big sales team and you have to go start training coaches and all that happens. Because with my scaling to 1 million and beyond clients, that's the next problem they have. More money, more problems. And it always comes up, right? So once they start hitting that $1 million mark or that multiple 6-figure mark, and they've got these high ticket coaching programs, they've got all this traffic coming in, they can't keep up with sales calls. And then we have another problem. Girl, you're going to have to get yourself a sales team. And you're going to have to give them commission and base and train them and deal with having a sales manager and having a pipeline and tracking all that stuff. And that's not something that you want to do if you're trying to live the kind of business model, okay, that gives you rest, revenue, whatever. Now, some people like that, okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying you create this balanced and bankable business model according to how you want to run your business. A lot of people that try and run away from working with people so they get a big team on the back end realize that humans are humans. You don't work with on the front end in terms of clients, you're going to work on the back ends in terms of employees and subcontractors and people that you need to support your business. And that's a headache as well. Okay, so pick your struggle. But you can't get away from people when you're scaling your business. And that's why I bring a lot of the pressure, right? Or I take away a lot of the pressure on this evergreen model, right? Because sometimes you can just give somebody something that's amazing and say, there you go. And don't believe the hype that people don't buy courses. We buy them all the time, depending on what the need or the scope is. But it doesn't have to be a course, because there's so many people coming into this online business world or whatever your niche is every day. And at that level, they buy templates, they buy shortcuts, they buy tools, and you can most definitely make digital products around that. All right. every day people reach out to me. Well, not every day. Let me not exaggerate. People often reach out to me and ask me about templates. Do you have a template for this? In Soulful Stories, I've structured storytelling into story structures, which are really in-depth, mapped out templates based on a particular story. So people can write an amazing story in 30 minutes or around that mark every day for 30 days in a 30-day sprint based on my story structures, which are structured storytelling beats, okay, that allow people to, who don't have great copywriting skills, to show up like a rock star when it comes to telling stories, so they can get their story-based marketing on and turn that into sales, right? So evergreen product, okay, I launched it a few times to see if it would work. I had phenomenal results, people getting 65K months and 25K months and 5K VIP intensive off the back of one post. And I knew this thing worked. And I said, you know what? Let's make it evergreen, right? Instead of waiting for cohorts and people to come in, people are like, I'm good to go now. Can I buy it now? So I decided to make it evergreen, right? And then there's other products I can create. People always asking me for advanced automations in business, right? Advanced Kajabi automations, advanced things with quizzes and email marketing and all that kind of stuff. So instead of me trying to coach them, let's put it in a product for them, not making it wildly expensive, but affordable, everyday luxury, okay? When in terms of digital products, these amazing shortcuts are what people are looking for, because a lot of people are sick to death with coaching and strategy. They need some actionable shortcuts that cut out 80% of the work, right? Because what we don't want is more strategy. What we really need is more sales, right? And so for those things, right, my whole ethos around evergreen is that you should sell evergreen every day. You should get an evergreen sale every day. Did I get an evergreen sale today? Guys, ask me, did I get an evergreen sale today? If you guys are still here, can type it, right? Just type in the chat, did you? Did I get an evergreen sale today? Okay. Well, since I don't know if there's a delay on this, so I'll just put you out of your misery. I did. Okay. I did. I got a sale today without looking for it, without pushing for it. I got a sale today based on my content that I put out before, based on referrals, but it came through. I should have asked the person how they found me, but I got an evergreen. Yes, Chevy, I got an evergreen sale today, right? And I plan to get one tomorrow and the day after. My evergreen sale today was $700. Now here, with these evergreen products that you put out, there's this process of unboxing, right? And what does unboxing mean? It's a funnel strategy that is very effective. So imagine, I do know who Chevy is, but imagine I didn't know her from a tin of paint. I hadn't built a connection with her. I didn't really follow her, but there was a topic that I was really dying to learn. Imagine, right? So let me give you an example. So as a software engineer, there used to be this tool. There's this tool called Jira. It's made by Alexi and the people that make Trello or acquired Trello, right? I think, or the people that made Trello, right? And it's a software engineering tool. We use it in the agile space, okay, to build bigger and better and faster software, right? And it's an amazing tool. It's powerful. Scrum masters use it. Project managers use it. It's a collaborative tool. So the whole team will be in it, logging stories and epics and, you know, tracking your velocity burn down charts and all that kind of stuff. Great stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it. And a lot of people don't know how to use it, right? And so when I was in the software engineering space, when people used to come in, they used to get the job, especially if they're in Scrum, this is how you test them, right? All right, whether it was you were an engineer, whatever, you tell them, set up your environment, right? So you say, hey, welcome, this, that, and the other, how's it going? You did amazing on the interview. I'm so excited that you're starting today. Here's your first task. Set up your environment. We use this, this, and this. You said on your resume that you're A-okay with it, right? You know, if you need any configuration details, let me know. I'll show you the folder that you need to point to. Here's some passwords to get into certain places that the team put all their stuff. You're good? All right, let me know if you've got any questions. And then people be stuck. How the hell do I use this tool, right? So imagine if they could run out, right? Go home, buy a course, all right? Sit down, go through the course, learn the fundamentals. Next day, set up their environment and come out like a rock star. Okay. This is the kind of stuff that you would sell, right? You're not going to sell a generic training. They don't care. I call these oxygen offers, that if I don't get this information, something's going to happen to me. I'm going to lose a job. I'm going to look like a doofus in the boardroom. I need subject matter expertise on this very thing, not now, but right now. Hey, I don't know who Chevy is, but she seems to be an authority in this. She has a very comprehensive, structured course. It's mid-ticket. I'm going to buy it. If it doesn't work out, I haven't broken the bank, right? But I'm going to take a chance on this. Oh, I can buy it straight away. Oh, there's a one-time payment. It's split into 2 payments of like $297 for 2 payments or $500 for a payment. Boom. Let me get my credit card out and buy this. Thank you very much. You're lucky that you've got that stuff. 20 years ago, when I started out as a software engineer and I was on a project, or there was nomenclature, or there was words I didn't understand, or there was technology that the senior engineers were talking about that was above my head, you know what I used to have to do? I used to have to run out to Waterstones, the bookstore in Canary Wharf, right across the road at lunchtime, and cram a book. Sit in the aisle, okay? Take one of the latest books and be flicking through that thing to try. And at that point, I didn't even buy the book. Sit in Waterstones and read the book, put it back, go back to the office. So I got you, and I'll be talking. You see what I mean? So what I'm saying is, now we have online courses, we have Kindle books, we have this stuff at our fingertips, right? And so you're rewarded if you create the right kind of content. You see what I mean? Nobody wants a 12-week program on that you have to wait 3 weeks till the next webinar launch. No. So this is why I'm saying, when you create, so how do you sell these courses? You create partnerships and you turn up on platforms. Because if you're not visible, you can't sell those courses. When I start looking for them, I can't find them. Right now, I'm creating a course on advanced Kajabi automations. People ask all the time, what automations am I missing from my course funnel or my webinar setup that is causing me to leave money on the table? They ask me all the time, and I don't want to have to sit through coaching call upon coaching call upon coaching call, saying the same thing over and over again, when I can give them a very streamlined digital product that allows them to self-service and catch all the little creaks and cracks in their funnel where they're leaking money because they're not using automations very well. Now, as an ex-software engineer, I live, breathe, drink, sleep automation. Algorithm automations, I just get it. If else statements, conditionals, flows. For some people, that drives them nuts, right? So it's a really easy thing to package into a digital mid-ticket offer. Now, what happens is that unboxing is when they buy the offer, you have an order. So an order bump is like an impulse buy at the checkout that increases the cart value. And then after that, you have an OTO1, which is an upsell. So maybe instead, I've sold them the course, I've sold them the training, that's very specific. And then on the upsell, I sell them templates, right? So here's a 297 template pack of shortcuts or project files or whatever. So you don't have to do everything from scratch. You can import this stuff and you're good to go, right? And then they're like, man, I could do this myself, but they've got these shortcuts I can just import and I'm good to go. Oh, I'll buy that for $297. So now they add it to the $500 offer, right? And now you're at $800. And then there's another OTO, right? There's an OTO2, okay, which has maybe like secrets, right? Advanced secrets, right? Where you have different people who've come together that show you all their shortcut ninja moves, right? That they use to get advanced use out of this tool or this process, because the $500 program was just the basics to get them to a certain level. But you've got these advanced users, or you've got these advanced secrets, or you've got people that show you how they use it to do X, Y, and Z, and you add that training for $197, right? Before you know it, you're at $1,000. You didn't start off when they did the first click at $1,000, because that $1,000 might have, you know, turn them away, right? Or turn them off because it's a little bit outside their budget. But as you basically ascend them into different cells, which are totally optional, they can just, you've seen those funnels, you can just bypass that and no, I just want to buy this $500 thing, right? And that's how, guys, you start to sell $1,000 a day without effort, completely on evergreen, without you having to jump on a sales call or go for a big launch. Another place that these products, these evergreen products you're going to create, get sold is by partnerships. So affiliate partnerships. I create amazing partnerships with people who have audiences and they want to cross-pollinate their audiences by promoting my product, and I do the same for theirs, right? If you just did one affiliate launch, and the affiliate launch is evergreen, because all you have to do is give people your opt-in, your email sequence, all right, and your sales page, all right? Somebody opts in, right? So partner A introduces you to their list by sending an email. Say, hey, my friend Caroline, she's the queen of storytelling sales, and she's got an amazing quiz that tries to find out what type of storytelling, what's a business owner, what's your storytelling personality, right? So you don't have to give them all the other products. You just get them to opt into your quiz. All of a sudden, you've got all the people who opted in from her list on your list, and they go through your funnel. You move them to the sale, right? That's how affiliate launches work. Powerful. You don't have to run around looking for Facebook ads to sell this stuff. So imagine if you did 1 to 2 affiliate launches every week, promos, not launches, promos every month, where you didn't even have to show up. Have a conversation. I'm doing one with somebody next week. I have one the week after. Very straightforward, right? Partnerships by mutual agreement. Very simple, very profitable, but requires you to create these connections so that you can step away from being physically present selling your products. You can build that into your balanced business model. Okay. All right. And then the productized service, I talked about what that was, but I'm telling you how to sell it. So for evergreen, you sell by showing up on a platform consistently. So I love people like Graham Cochran. He shows up on YouTube and he creates his value on YouTube. He creates his know, like, trust on YouTube, and then he sells appropriately, right? No launches, no webinars, nothing, right? People just opt in. Okay. Boom. You're in his funnel, right? Selling unashamedly and unapologetically with automation. And it's all good because he's put in the relationship equity on the front end, on the platform. So here's the thing. If you're going to sell evergreen, it doesn't mean that you're relinquished from your responsibility to create connection with your audience. You have even more of a responsibility because you're not showing up to the sales process, right? So they have to know, like, and trust you on the front end for you to automate sales. But the downside of that is you need a lot of content to be able to automate sales, because you can't send people empty emails, right? You've got to consistently send these emails in a launch loop, and that requires you to have great content. All right, in the one-on-one, it's easy to tell stories on your social media profile, on LinkedIn, wherever you show up, your social media platform of choice, where you not only build your audience, but connect with your audience, and then create stories, right? Storytelling posts or content that segue to a solution that presents a sale, right? And then you can ask people to DM you or to jump on a sales call to take that interest or that inquiry into an enrollment if you're doing one-on-one. So in the sales event, I tell you the different ways that you can sell these programs. And what you want to make sure, if you want a balanced business, is that most of the ways that you're selling don't require you to be strapped into, you see what you'll see on sales calls all day long, where you maybe close 1 in 4 or 1 in 3 people, right? Because even if you're enrolling people into your program, you are spending a lot of your time on calls, and that still adds to the energy footprint in your business that leads to burnout. Right. So this is the easy breezy business model, $1 million business model that I want in my business, that requires me to still have a skeleton team, because I don't want a big entourage. I don't want a big boardroom, right? Because, you know, you've got to manage people wherever they fit into your business. I don't want a big boardroom, right? So I want a skeleton team, not a big entourage. I want not passive. I want evergreen income through an IP portfolio of digital products, templates, and assets that give people a quick win, but a big enough win that they now ascend to my signature because they're like, wow, this was amazing. What does she have next? And the next thing is for you to come into a group coaching container where I give you that transformational win that solves a massive gap in your business, right? And then one-to-one, either VIP days or coaching or Voxer mentorship for a very small section of my audience that I feel aligned with and that I want to work with at that level, right? And I usually choose 1 or 2 people, okay, that I know that I can really help, who've got to a certain stage in their business, that are coachable, that we have a connection to work with on that level, right? And it's great because people apply and you approve rather than you chasing them and auditioning for that business, okay? And that's how you create this amazing business model. Now, I'm going to wind down now, but what I do want to say to you is, how do you sell all this kind of stuff? See, I've given you the business model, I've given you the revenue projections, I've given you the price point, I've given you how many units you need to sell, and I've even told you the sales mechanism to sell these things. But it's all well and good putting this there because you've got goals. How do you grow into this kind of business? Because it doesn't happen overnight, right? Anybody who tells you that is lying to you, right? And you're not going to fall for the okie doke anymore, right? But now you have some clarity and you have some direction on what needs to be done in your business. There's no point feeling overwhelmed. This is a roadmap, but Rome wasn't made in a day. And this is a nice jog, right? This is not a marathon. Sorry, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It doesn't even have to be a long-term marathon, right? I remember when I did half a marathon, I nearly passed out. And I was like, I will never do this again. This is no painful. Never. White knuckling my way through. No. Right? It needs to be a light jog. It used to be how it was when I was playing pickleball the other day. It didn't feel like I was kidding myself, right? Felt like fun. I was having a great time. Was a little bit winded, but I wasn't like gasping for breath, right? That's what it's going to feel. But I could tell I was doing something and I was gaining momentum and I was burning calories, right? That's what it's supposed to feel like in your business. So you leave enough energy and enough time. Okay, great. Hey, Olivia, you leave enough for yourself to have a damn life. Okay, to live a luxurious and lavish lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. What's the point in doing all this? You don't even have time to go to the mall. You don't even have time to ponder and what bag you want to buy. You don't even have time to figure out what's better than Ruby Woo. Do you see what I mean? Like I used to be in my business. I used to be like, had no time, hardly ever went to the mall, hardly ever had time to eat out. Okay, hardly ever had time to do fun things like go on a hayride with the kids. Okay, because I was always like this. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Right? Everyone was always rolling their eyeballs. Whenever my daughter would come and sit down with me, and sometimes that still happens, she'd take that and she said, no devices. It's our time. That's the message, right? To say that I was allowing hustle to find its way, to rear its ugly head in my business. And I made a decision that I'm going to stamp it out, right? For good. But I had to be intentional. And that's why I made this I compartmentalized my business into 4 areas and decided this is what it has to look like. 1, it has to make $1 million. It's mandatory. When that happens, it depends on how strategic and intentional and clever and hyper-focused I am on making those numbers work. And every day, I'm intentional to get closer and closer to those numbers. And it's very doable, right? Like, let me just tell you this, right? Most of us could have hit this number if we didn't spend 80% of our time doing things that don't work, lollygagging and just piddling the day away, focusing on things that don't really build the needle, connecting with people that don't add to our business, that do not collaborate, who don't bring anything to the table, and creating content and posting it in places that people don't see, right? And this is why I built out something to sell this called the HTM, right? It's the high ticket messaging model, right? And I'm going to be holding a masterclass, or actually a half-day workshop that teaches you the HTM method model so that you can work into these numbers in starting now if you want to, because everything starts with your daily effort, right? Your daily intentional effort to move closer and closer to these goals. The sooner you start, the better, right? But definitely starting in Q1, right? And how I can help you, right? Make this table an actual living, breathing, transformational thing in your business, which is exciting to me. I don't know. Do you guys find this exciting? I find this stuff exciting, right? So it's a workshop. It's going to, after Thanksgiving, that's when it's going to be, okay? Half day workshop. And when I do workshops, they're different from masterclasses. Masterclasses when I'm trying to tell you something for half an hour or 45 minutes and then send you into office. Workshop is when we're going to do some of the work here, because I like people to get a big win or a quick win or a win that they can see the light before they decide that this works for them and they go full throttle on what I'm talking about. All right. And that's what we're going to be doing in the half-day workshop. We're going to be structuring this for yourself. I'm going to be looking at it to make sure it's realistic, because we all have these big dreams and everything, right? What we're going to be doing. But I'm going to be like, you might not. Look at this. Do you think, what does this mean for you? Why did you choose this percentage split? What are the repercussions of doing it this way, right? And then we're going to be talking about the HTM, the high ticket messaging model that makes this possible. And that's the exciting thing for me, because when I looked for help in my business previously, people used to just tell me anything, but they had no process. They had no structure for how this was a realistic goal. And so I used to get high and giddy with excitement. And then a week afterwards, I used to be down in a dump, sit back in the slump, because I couldn't see my way, right? I couldn't see the path for this. And I felt like they were just, selling me a dream, but they didn't have any decisive framework for me to hit these goals. Now I know these goals are possible. I've helped people hit them in their business, all right? Because I broke the rule. I broke that one signature offer rule. I felt guilty when I was doing it, like I was going against the whole kind of, established academic, body. Do you see what I mean? That had researched why it had to be so. But I actually remember telling one of my clients, you know what? This one signature offer is not going to work for you. You need our evergreen product suite, man. And this woman started selling at $40K a month on her evergreen product suite, right? And I see her on Instagram and everything doing amazing. And she's not even stressed on her launch process anymore, because before she used to be all in on the launch process because it was that or bust. And I could see how stressful it was. And even though she was smiling and shimmering about on the newsfeed, I knew how this given her launch PTSD every time. PTSD. And I was like, how does somebody sustain life like this? Forget about people saying, oh, launching is easy. It doesn't have to be stressful. It is every time. If you're invested in your business and everything that you have is based, or everything that you put into your business is based, the launch basically is make or break for you. Excuse me, right? The launch process is make or break for you. If you don't sell this time at a certain level, you're not going to be able to, fulfill your bills. You're not going to be able to pay your staff. You're not going to be able to move forward in certain ways. It's going to take a big hit on your confidence and everything. No wonder people are stressed out, hair falling out, depressed, cursing out their husband, whatever, not there for the, and it's always like, let me just get this launch over and I'm going to go back to being normal. After the launch is done and they've divvied up all their money and they've paid all the expenses, for all of that stress, they have pittance. No time to market, no time for product creation to make whatever they've marketed absolutely amazing, so people have underwhelming experience when they come into their programs. I was like, that's for the birds. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, so we broke rank and we made revenue. Okay, extraordinary revenue, and now she's never looked back, and I love it for her. And I love it for you as well. If that's the kind of business model you want to build, and you're not going to listen to much those people who say a whole lot, but they're probably having a breakdown in the back room as well. But they come on with a bright smile and tell you all these things that theoretically sound great, but logically sound great, but in practice really don't make any sense for your business model and for the lifestyle that you want to live. Yeah, Genesis said launching is stressful, but thanks to Caroline, I did it. Yes, and now Genesis, we want everyday, easy peasy sales where you don't have to stress yourself out like that. And that's the plan. And this is what we do in a high ticket messaging model. Even if you're not selling high ticket, the same process applies to you. It's getting story-based marketing, right, to a level, and partnerships and all this other stuff that it makes it easy for you, whether you want to sell by stories or by system or by synergy with other people who are aligned with the way that you do things, your vision, values, and vibe. Okay, so that was a long one, guys, but I got it all out and I streamed to 3 places. Okay, so aren't you just proud of me? I'm just proud of me for taking imperfect action. Okay, imperfect action. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on high ticket messaging workshop. Right, just make sure that you comment on this stream so I know how to get back to you. And thank you for hanging out with me. And, you know, take a screenshot of this balanced and bankable business model, and draw a few things up. And, you know, hey, you might just want to like screenshot something and DM me, and I give it a heart or something, right? Don't worry about how you get the numbers. Just declare what you want. Everything starts with intention and a declaration that this is what I want. Okay? This is what I want. Because, you know, you can really have what you want. Right? When you're intentional and when you believe it, see what I mean? When you can almost visualize it, you close your eyes and you visualize what this lifestyle will look like and how it will transform your family life, your health, your disposition, your happiness. You can have what you want. You don't have to accept what you think you can get in this business. You don't. This is the easiest time it's ever been to make money independently from your 9 to 5 by selling your expertise, your experience ethically and realistically and authentically. The easiest time ever. It's never been this easy. You know, even with the systems that are available. For 20 years, I was a software engineer, and back then people had to build things from scratch. There was no social media. There was no being able to bond and connect with your audience in this way. I'm able to use this tool, StreamYard, which is pennies, right? Now, listen, right? I spend more on that in McDonald's or Chick-fil-A for 2 kids than how much I pay for this a month, and stream to thousands of people across different social media platforms to get my message out there, right? It's never been easy to connect with people that you don't know, and to expose your education, expertise, and experience, and build a connection with them, and to sell them transformational products and services that's going to make their lives better. It's never been easier. And you owe it to your gifts and greatness and calling and purpose to do it. And I always say, if you've been called, you're capable, right? I don't want you to feel that it's for other people, or, you know, sometimes these gurus make us feel that they're the only ones that can do it. No, if you've been called, if you've got this burning desire in your heart, you're most definitely capable. Okay? And I know it's going to work. I absolutely know it's going to work for you. It's working for my clients, but hyper focus is your friend, guys. Hyper focus on whatever you mapped out the dream to be. All right? And so that's what I mapped out my dream, because I've decided if I'm going to put all this time and effort and education in online, it's got to make $1 million. All right? And I want the same thing for you. I've helped bring my clients closer to that milestone by intentionally eradicating hustle from their business model, counter to what a lot of the gurus say, and they're happy as Larry. And I want you to be happy too. So it's been fun hanging out with you. I want you to have an amazing evening. You know, go away with lots of thoughts in your head. You know, when you get in the shower, your mind should be just percolating and bubbling and just thinking of all these amazing ideas. And anytime you get that horrible foreboding feeling that it's not going to work, just slap it like whack-a-mole, right? Knock it out of your thought process. Don't let that head drama take up space in your head or live in your head rent-free. It's not true what the head trash will tell you. You can have exactly what you want. Those people that are doing great, do they have two heads? No, they've got a smart business strategist like me on their side. Okay, so it's been fun, guys. As always, you guys are amazing. To my people on LinkedIn, it's been real. To my small but amazing audience on YouTube, thanks for hanging in there. For my Ride or Die family on Facebook, love you plenty. Okay, let's get this money and this financial freedom and this lavish and luxurious lifestyles that we deserve. All right, and I will connect or talk to you soon. You're always free to slide into my DMs. My DMs are open. You know how to find me, and if you don't, okay, find out. All right. If anyone wants to book a call, right, always forget to do that. Move to the bank. And you should know now why my URL is move to the bank. Move, make offers often. If you want to cash cow in your business, what you got to do? You got to move, make offers often. So I want you guys to move to the bank. If you want to book a call with me to talk about how I can make this happen earlier than the launch that I'm doing in 2 weeks, then move to the bank, book a call, and let's talk. Okay, I'm outie. Bye-bye.